Happy Wednesday, my favorite day of the week, and hopefully your favorite day of the week too. It's a solo hang with just you and me today, but we bring a lot of friends. So big hi to everybody. If you haven't already, let us know where you're coming in from. We have all of our usual Wednesday regulars who are hanging out, but I did see some new names in here, so don't be shy. Let us know where you are coming in from. I have tea today, and maybe even let us know what you're having a little bit today. But solo show, no guest today, but I wanted to say a big happy Veterans Day. Sporting I only get to wear this sweater twice a year, once on 4th of July and once on Veterans Day. So it should last me another decade. But even though we're all working from home, I thought it would be best to wear my pride on my chest, my heart on my sleeve, where it always belongs. So big happy Veterans Day to everybody who is tuning in. Wherever it is in the world you are, hopefully you are honoring your veterans as well. I know we are here in the US. So I wanted to point out a couple organizations honoring Veterans Day, and then we can kind of like get into the good stuff. Yes, Kelly, we love the newbies. See newbies, we love you. Just say hello. Say a little hello to us. We won't bite. Don't be shy. Okay, first organization, if you haven't heard from it, really cool. It's called Veterans Crisis Line. Veterans Crisis Line. We'll drop it in the chat, but if you haven't heard from it, I really like it because not only can you call or have an online chat, but they have just introduced text messaging in the last couple of years. So texts are huge. If you, again, know somebody who served, who might be struggling at this time, they can text. They don't even have to talk on the phone. And God knows nobody likes talking on the phone. So I really like this organization. And if you feel so inclined to support, they're doing amazing, amazing work. So we'll drop that one in the chat. I can wear that on Space Invaders Day as well, Brendan. I hope it doesn't come to that. If AI takes over, like I Am Robot and Will Smith, I can wear this as I run around the United States trying to escape the robots that Elon Musk might have created to take over the world. So you're right. Maybe you'll see me in this sometime soon, but hopefully not. Another organization, if you haven't heard from it, Operation Homefront. The reason I really like this is because it actually helps the families around the people serving in the military. So yes, they're doing amazing work, but their families are amazing as well. So this is a great organization. It covers everything from there's a new baby in the family to a car broke down. So great organization. Again, if you haven't heard of it, Operation Homefront, we'll drop the link in. Super cool organization. And the last one is the Semper Fi Fund. Semper Fi. I always say that word wrong, but I'm hoping I'm saying it right. Semper Fi. They do amazing work providing resources, support for the critically injured, for critically ill, and just catastrophe type situations that happen to these soldiers when they are serving. And so they deal with members of the armed forces and their families. This organization is also really, really highly ranked on Charity Navigator. So if you haven't already, I know it's the end of the year and a lot of people give to great organizations at the end of the year when they kind of see where their year ended up and where their settlements are and where they maybe have a few extra dollars to give. And if you haven't already checked out Charity Navigator, it's an amazing website that you can log on to and just kind of look at the health of an organization. It's an independent third party. They do a lot of background checks, a lot of research, a lot of investigating into organizations because we've all heard the stories that come out on the news like years later that there was a scandal and that, you know, some organization had this happen or had that happen. If you check out Charity Navigator, it's an amazing resource to just kind of investigate where your money's going and who it's going to. So, and Kelly just brought up a great point that Giving Tuesday is coming up on December 1. How is December 1 coming up? Frightened. I have goosebumps. You can't see them because of my America sweater, but holy cow, December 1 is coming up. Thank you, Kelly. check out any organizations that you want to give to on Charity Navigator. I cannot recommend it enough if you haven't already checked it out. I am not sure if Charity Navigator works in other countries. Might need to check that out, but I know it works here in the US for organizations based here. So TBD, if it works in other places, you'll have to let me know. On the Veterans Day theme, as I was thinking about sort of our next guest and who I thought would just bring a lot of value to everybody here in terms of not only their business acumen and tips and tricks and all the resources that we love to copy, but again, building a business and leading with a cause. And so I'm really excited that next week, again, in the theme of Veterans Day, we are going to be having Michelle Penzak from Squared Away, which is an amazing organization that you've probably heard me talk about if you follow me on any social media channels, because I'm sort of obsessed with them. But Michelle is an amazing female founder that started this company out of a need for herself and what she saw, which was military spouses and people in military relationships that were being uprooted because of going into new stations or going into new service assignments, and their families and wives would have to give up their jobs and leave everything behind. And obviously that's extremely hard. So this was an amazing idea that she thought, let me go all in on this. And so she created a company called Squared Away. It is a virtual assistant company that has really high level virtual assistants who are based not only all over the United States, but all over the world. And you can use them for anything and everything you could ever dream of. And I can personally attest, because Shelby, who you've heard me talk about, my wizard of a human, is from Squared Away. Even though she works with me all the time and I like to think that she's mine, she's actually a little bit Michelle's and a little bit mine. So we share her in a way, but she is amazing. So I have been using Squared Away now for probably 6 months. Cannot say enough good things. If you've ever thought about having a virtual assistant, if you've thought a virtual assistant might be something I'm interested in, message me. I'm happy to answer any questions about it. I also didn't think I needed a virtual assistant. I thought it was for people who were super C-level with like 500 person companies. No, I am embarrassed to say Shelby has helped me with everything from finding out how to get holiday cards printed to figuring out how to plan a birthday party for one of my friends, to actual things with work, like helping me with learning StreamYard and figuring out how to go live on Facebook and LinkedIn. So a little bit of work, a little bit of personal, you name it, she does it. She won't kill people for you. I've asked. She's not going to do that. She's not going to commit murder for you. So that really annoying person in the office, she can't get rid of them, but everything else she can do. So, oh, Jesse, veteran in the house. Do you have a sweater on like this, Jesse? Is that weird to ask people what they're wearing? Just thought of that after I already said it. So maybe just delete that. LinkedIn is an HR friendly platform. So I don't want to know what you're wearing, Jesse. Scratch that from the record. I plead the fifth if you ever bring that up. Anyways, Squared Away, Michelle's coming on next week. So if you have questions about building a business, her business is booming, by the way, now. So I'm really excited to dig in on that, how she built the business. But again, using a virtual assistant, if you've ever had any questions about it, DM me. I'm really excited. And she's going to be a fantastic guest next week. Oh, and if you know anybody that thinks they might need a virtual assistant, tell them to tune in, because I know there's always a ton of questions around this. So Michelle's going to be able to answer a lot of it. So that's that. Okay, next thing, I thought this would be really fun because I'm super corny, as you know. If we did a little 3, 2, 1 countdown of 3, 2, 1 current business must-haves. And this is where we're going to talk back and forth, which I'm going to talk about 3 things that have been recommended to me highly in the past couple weeks, 2 things that are my current favorites and that I am freaking obsessed with, and 1 quote that I cannot stop thinking about over and over again. I just can't get it out of my head. Sort of like the Baby Shark song, that one thing that just plays on repeat. Um, Kelly, we're all wearing khaki pants. So true. So true. I love this. I love that. Okay. 3 things that have been and as I'm doing my 3, 2, 1, jump in with your 3, 2, 1s. Maybe we'll do it in groups. Okay. 3 things right now. 3 things that have been recommended to me lately that I'm going to look into maybe this week, maybe next week, over the weekend. But let me know if you've heard of any of these 3 things. Okay. Number 1 thing that I've heard of that I actually have an appointment about tomorrow, which is Superhuman. Superhuman is an email inbox. Let me see if I can get this right. Email inbox performance program, service, app. I don't know. All I know is a lot of people talk about Superhuman. I've had a lot of people send me emails, and in really tiny on the bottom, it says like sent via Superhuman, or, Superhuman sent this from me to you or something like that. So I'm really curious about it. I know a lot of friends that use Superhuman. Do you use Superhuman? Do you know anybody that uses Superhuman? I don't know. I have an appointment with them tomorrow. We're going to find out. I'll be the guinea pig of the group. I will report back to you what I find and if it was any good and if it's worth the price, because you do have to pay for it. I know a lot of things are free when it comes to Gmail and plugins and apps. This is not one of them. You have to pay for it. So I will report back. But if anybody has used Superhuman, let me know. If I point this way, is it the comments box or this way? I don't know. But wherever the comments box is, or maybe it's below, let me know if you've ever used Superhuman. I'll just go like this, like the Brady Bunch, and it'll cover wherever the chat box is. So that's number 1, Superhuman. Number 2, I posted on LinkedIn yesterday asking for my next business book, and holy moly, did I get so many recommendations for Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. Haven't read the book. I've read Simon's other books, like Start With Why. Loved that book. Have not read Infinite Game. I think it's new. I think it just came out, and that's why so many people are reading it and recommending it. To my left. L. This way, Kelly? We don't know our left from our right. Spread the rumor. Okay, so Infinite Game. I don't know if you're reading it. Oh, Buy Your Plant. Thank you, Heath. Here's the chat box. Has anyone read Infinite Game by Simon Sinek? Is it good? It's going to be my next business read, because I have this rule that if more than 3 people recommend something that I know and like and trust, it's probably worth it to check out. And I had way more than 3 people that I know, like, and trust put it on my LinkedIn post yesterday. And Jen just said it's amazing. And I trust all of Jen's recommendations because she recommended Ted Lasso, and now it's like my favorite show. So looks like my next book will be Infinite Game, but let me know if you enjoyed it over here, because that'll just push me to read it even more. And the third thing that I was recommended recently was the Brene Brown podcast. Does anyone listen to the Brene Brown podcast? ? I love Brene Brown. I'm on the Brene Brown train. I am doing all of the things she tells me to do. I think she's brilliant. I follow her on all the social medias. I read Dare to Lead. I'm probably not following all the advice she gave me because it's a little much, and I'm not that brave yet, but I'm working up to it, 1% better every day, little baby steps. It's so much better when I point. It's very Vanna, right? Thanks, Jeff. I don't know if you've listened to the Brene Brown podcast. Let me know. If you have listened to it, what's your favorite episode? Because I also know that every time you get recommended a podcast, it's sort of like, where do I even start? Because usually there's lots of episodes, and let's be honest, some of the episodes are duds. So if you have a favorite episode about where I should start, let me know. Oh, Dare to Lead podcast, Jen, and Unlocking Us. There's 2. Okay. Well, looks like we're going to have Sophie's choice between, I can't take on 2 new podcasts one at a time. But I'll try it. I'll try one of them. Maybe I'll have to flip a coin. Yeah, Kelly, exactly. My thoughts exactly. 2 podcasts. What? Okay. So Jen, maybe which one do you like better? I don't know. Gia. Oh yes. Olivia. I love Liv's podcast, Friend of a Friend, I think is what it's called. I never remember what Liv tells me, but Liv is a dear friend and I love her podcast as well. So that one is already in the rotation. Okay. So those are the 3 things that I've been recommended recently: Superhuman, email service app provider, Infinite Game by Simon Sinek, the book, and a Brene Brown podcast. I should have asked the people recommending Brene Brown to me which podcast. In retrospect, I will ask that moving forward in case people have multiple podcasts. Where do people have time to make multiple podcasts? The thought of making one podcast is overwhelming. How do people have multiple podcasts? I don't even know. Okay. 2. In our 3, 2, 1 game. 2, these are 2 things that I'm currently obsessing over. I'm sharing my obsessions with you. If you have 1 or 2 things that you are obsessing about, share it with me and us and the group. And again, don't be shy. Please share if there's something you're loving. We're all friends here. We're all networking in a safe space. Do share. Thank you, Jen. This is a good one to start with. 2 things I'm currently obsessed with. The Practice by Seth Godin, his new book. If you have not checked it out, if you don't know who Seth Godin is, do not sleep on this. Check out Seth Godin immediately. I love all of his books. I love his blog. In addition to being extremely smart and talented when it comes to marketing, he's just sort of funny. He kind of reminds me of like the Larry David of marketing. Like he is no qualms, no BS, very straightforward, and very much like telling it like it is and doesn't care. But obviously he's also super successful, which you don't normally see those types of attitudes to people that are super successful. So I love him for all of those reasons, but he has a new book out called The Practice. I am not done with it yet. I am probably a third through it, and I like it. So that has been my newest thing that I really enjoy. Look at all these funny answers. Jesse, Sci-Fi Escape Dark Matter. Haven't read that one. Maybe I will start it after my Simon Sinek book, which we already decided has to be the next book after the Seth Godin book. So that is number 1. The second thing that I'm currently obsessing over, if you use Instagram, this is amazing. I saw this by accident and now I'm obsessed with it too, which is if you post Instagram stories on this little thing, you will realize that 90% of people watch Instagram stories with the sound off. No sound, soundless. They don't listen. And listen, we all do it because you're usually watching it at home or while people are watching TV or on a bus or something. You don't want the loud noise drawing attention. So a lot of people put captions. I always do, or just like subjects, what you're talking about so that people know what you're talking about. There is an app from Instagram called Threads like threads in clothing. This app, I mean, I don't know how I didn't hear about this sooner. Or maybe you guys have already heard about it. Jen's already heard about it, apparently. Of course, Jen, you're like already on top of it. It adds what you are saying as a caption so that you don't have to caption anything. I just posted my first one right before we got on here. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram and look at my latest story, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. But it's super cool. If you don't know about it already, I highly recommend you download it. I've just started using it, but I'm obsessed. I'm telling everybody about it. It's amazing. So, and Jen's been using it. So if Jen's using it, I'm in. Okay. Oh, wait. I wanted to, Joe, top 3 books that I've been obsessed with lately. The Obstacle is the Why. Principles. I assume that's Ray Dalio's Principles, and No Rules Rules. Here's the thing about Principles. I haven't read the other 2 books, but I will make a comment about Principles. I made the very, very savage mistake of thinking I could listen to Ray Dalio's Principles via audio. That is a no. That is a hard no. Ray Dalio's book is meaty. It is intense. You got to kind of dig in. It's one of those books that you read a paragraph, you have to sit for a second and maybe reread the paragraph. So it's just a little dense. And so audio, if you're anything like me, when you listen to audiobooks, you're like cleaning, you're driving, you're listening, but you're like doing other, you're walking, maybe you're exercising. That is not the space to be reading Ray Dalio's Principles. So Joe, you'll have to tell us if we can listen to the other two via audio. I will say the Seth Godin book that I've been doing, the practice, I've been listening to that on audio and it's been fairly fine. So just a little tidbit on the Ray Dalio Principles, would not listen to that as an audiobook. It's just like a no. An audiobook, if you're looking for some candy, not some broccoli, it's not going to help you be better, but it certainly is fun. And you've seen the promos everywhere. He's on every podcast right now. He's on every late night show. Matthew McConaughey, Green Lights. I know. It's pop culture, whatever. Judge away. I got the book. I'm listening to it on audio and I freaking love it. He's funny. He has the kind of the Texas draw accent. His life has been hilarious and awesome. So it's like candy. I don't know if you're necessarily going to take away any tips and tricks to make you better, but sometimes we just need to feel like we're grabbing scotch with an old friend and telling funny stories. If my friend was Matthew McConaughey and I drank scotch, throwing it out there. I don't know. The obstacle is the way. Absolutely, physical copies a must. See, here we go. I should say, we should make a rule that moving forward, and help me with this, because, if Michelle brings up a book or if any of our future guests bring up books, remind me to ask them if it should be audio or written, because that's a great point. And I should be asking that. And I should just be asking that in my life in general. Like, is this an audiobook or should I be reading this? And I've already talked about this, but if you do order physical copies of books, bookshop.org. Did I get that right? Bookshop.org. It's the anti-Amazon. It's the only place I order physical books. I make my family order physical books from there. My mom's like a VIP customer. She reads so many books. So do not order books from Amazon. Do not order books from Amazon. Can't say it enough. Support local. Order from this bookshop.org organization. It's amazing. I know. Matt has 3 companies. It's like, I have 1 company. It's exhausting. Okay, so those are my two current favorites, the Practice by Seth Godin book and the Threads app on Instagram. Must get it. And here's one quote that I sort of can't stop thinking about, and it is from Matthew McConaughey's Green Lights. So I'll admit it. Maybe there is a takeaway there after all, because he says this quote, and I don't know why. I just can't stop thinking about it. And the quote is, "Be brave, take the hill." So at first you're kind of like, okay, be brave, take the hill, like take the harder road. I got it. But then here's kind of the part of the quote that I keep coming back to. So it's, be brave, take the hill, but answer the question, what is my hill? And I don't know where you're sitting today. I don't know where you are on this Wednesday, but that just hits a little different. I don't know if it's post-COVID and everyone's like reevaluating their life and, what society wants versus what you want, what society thinks you should be doing with your career, what you want to be doing with your career or your job or your family or where you live or what you do. But man, what is your hill? Not what society thinks your hill should be or what your next step should be, but what you think your hill should be. So I don't know. That one just sort of like hit different for me. And I agree, Jeff, especially on Veterans Day, it's like, I don't know, stars align. That quote's been sticking with me. I have my American flag on. I don't know. It's feeling very cosmic. It's feeling very cosmic for my energy believers out there. So I love this from Jen. I asked, what is mine to do a lot? I love that one too, Jen. That is a good one. I love this. I took Matthew's book directly in English. I don't know. Your English is always so great, my friend. I don't know. I don't think you really need to practice that much anymore. And it would almost be funny, though, if you do start coming up with a Matthew McConaughey accent. That would be even better, I think. I'm over the hill now. No one's over the hill. What is your hill? What is your hill? So I don't know if anybody else has some 3-2-1s that they want to add from their own. I promised you a short session, and we're 25 minutes in, so we have 5 more minutes of glorious time together because I want to be respectful and let everybody celebrate Veterans Day. I feel like a mannequin when I do this, but again. So if you have a 3-2-1, that's 3 things that people have been recommending to you, maybe 2 things that you're loving, or 1 quote that you've been obsessed with lately. So drop any of your 3-2-1s right here so we can all see it and all say to ourselves, I'm going to think about that for the rest of the day, because that's what these sessions always are to me. I always, for the rest of Wednesday and usually Thursday morning when I'm in the shower and on my run, I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about the things we talked about. I'm thinking about the quotes. I'm thinking about the books that people brought up, the questions that they had, the topics that we can cover, what we can help with. I'm thinking about it. Hopefully you're thinking about it too, because this is a team effort, but do let me know what you're thinking about too. And as always, again, I know I'm bringing on Michelle next week. That's going to be amazing. Again, supporting veterans. Did I say the Squared Away? Yeah, I did. Everyone who works there is connected to the U.S. military or veterans in some way. So I think I already said that. But if you didn't see that through thread, that's why Michelle's coming on next week. So hi, Michelle. I have some other really exciting guests to announce. I don't know if I should tell you now. I'm going to wait. You can check the website, but we have some really fun people coming up. But again, if you have docsend.com, if you're an entrepreneur with docs to send, heard about this, never used it, but I heard about it. So, thank you, Jeff. Somebody asked me for a fax machine the other week, and I literally thought they were joking. And then I realized they weren't. And I was like, no, sir, I don't have a fax machine. And I wanted to say something snarky like, maybe 1992 Kim has a fax machine, but not 2020 Kim. But I didn't say that. You never know how people are going to take a joke, but I was like, no fax machine. So thank you for that, Jeff. And again, if you have any other recommendations of people to come on the show, I will be dropping a link here, but I have a whole survey, a form that you can fill out of like, hey, Kim, I think you should bring this person on the show. And here's why they're awesome. Listen, this is our coffee meeting. Notice I don't say it's my coffee meeting. It's our coffee meeting. So if there's somebody that you think that should join, put it in. Just saying. Kelly, I saved a great quote someone shared on Instagram from Mother Teresa. Let no one ever come to you without leaving better and happier. Yes. So much yes. And can that just be like a rule of life for everyone, especially 2020? Can the virus hear that? Someone could get this memo to COVID. That'd be real helpful. Like, dear COVID, please leave us happier and better. Thanks. And maybe make like a tree and leave. Okay. So I love that one, Kelly. Thank you. So thank you. Yeah, Seth, going to have to keep adding you to get you on here. So true. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining this solo Veterans Day coffee meeting with just you and I. I hope some of these recommendations and quotes and things will help you, because I know everything that Jen and Jeff and everybody have recommended is super helpful. And Kelly, so thank you, because I know that it's really great when we can all share this stuff together. And like I said, I will report back on Superhuman and let you know how that one goes. And if you try any of the books that were recommended or the podcast, again, message me, send me a carrier pigeon, text me, whatever. Let me know. Let me know what you think and how it was so that we can keep sharing together. So I will send up a cheers and a happy, let me move my hair so I could do a proper happy Veterans Day. A happy Veterans Day cheers from me to you. Kelly, thank you so much for hanging out today. Keith, attitude is everything. Let's make an amazing week. Julie, thank you. Everybody, Nadal, I probably said your name wrong, but I tried. Nigel, A for effort, probably B- for execution. Thank you so much for joining. Yes, Jeff, please fax me this week. I'm so excited. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And everybody have an amazing rest of the week. And I will see you next week with Michelle. Cheers.